That's how I know that the world is in a bad place. We played the game for 90 minutes. We haven't picked up a win yet. People are like, something must be horribly wrong. How many? This is why none of you have driver's licenses. You don't just pop into the driver's seat, age 16, and then go on like a 9-hour road trip to Disneyland. First, you got to be like, here's the gear shift. Here's how you turn the car on. Here's how you use your signal lights. I did. The first time you drove was a road trip. Then I also don't take your advice seriously because you don't know how to plan your life. You don't know how to organize your activities. That's just bad planning. That's even worse than the reality of the situation, which is most people doing like short little drives in a parking lot to start with. Trial by fire is the best way to learn. I don't think that's true with driving. I think it's true. I think it's true with this game for sure. I think going out there and getting beaten up on by a skeleton to learn how to beat a skeleton. Yeah. That makes sense. When you're driving, though, I think that leads to you dying. I saw a scientific paper, and I know okay, listen, I read the abstract. Boom, headshot XX. What a name. You're not going to like this because I didn't like this either. If you look at the incidence of car accidents by age group, did you know that 80-year-olds are still causing less accidents per capita per mile driven than people that are in their early 20s? I'm just going by the data. It evaluated the data from like the National Transportation Security Bureau. And then what was the craziest of all, the people that the group that causes the least accidents on average, is in the least accidents on average, is 60 to 65-year-olds. Because they drive less? No, it was normalized by per capita per mile driven. That's why we said that in the start of the conversation here. They said one of the reasons is, as you get older, obviously your reaction time tends to get worse, but also so does your level of aggression, which I thought was interesting because you always assume that like all of accidents when driving is because of, reaction time. What is happening here? I could definitely buy the idea that a lot of accidents are caused by aggression. Like, not road rage, but like just not giving the person in front of you enough space, or like they cut you off, so then you tailgate them right behind them or something. It's probably because they drive mostly in gentrified areas. But what the, like, can you just take the data, like, at face value from the scientists and researchers, like, a little bit before you start being like, here's why my own bias is, like, renders those results completely invalid? That's crazy. No, because I don't like the data. All right, well, I mean, fair enough. I like the data because I finally, at age 34, I finally entered, like, the decile that is starting to improve at driving. But I will say, 60 to 65 was the real shocker for me. That was like I don't want to say necessarily the safest drivers, but the drivers per mile driven involved in the least amount of accidents. Do you know that the majority of drivers consider themselves above average? Yes. I'm familiar with the Wobegon, the Lake Wobegon fallacy. The difference is I actually am. Me too. You don't use cruise control? That's how I know I'm an above average driver. I never let the car drive for me. I like to feel the road underneath my foot, like Fred Flintstone. People who don't use cruise control are the same people who speed up so they don't get past even though they drive slow. This is my favorite argumentation technique. People who don't do thing that I do also do thing that I don't like. Bro, the same people who don't use cruise control are the kinds of people who like get up to they've been in line at Subway for 20 minutes and when they get to the front, they go, "What do you guys sell here?" That's true though? No, it's not. You just agree. There's a difference. I actually, by the way, I don't use cruise control. And I have no problem being passed on the highway. I have no ego about it. The only thing that annoys me is when someone's behind me and then they go, they make like a big show of getting by me, but then they don't get by me. They just go like 1 kilometer an hour faster than me in the other lane. So I feel compelled to have to slow down the speed that I was already going at so they can get by me because they don't have the stones to actually like hit the gas. Like I'm doing like 105. They're behind me like I want to go 106 and not a kilometer an hour faster. That's literally your argument technique to a T. Yeah, and your argument technique is whenever I say something that disproves your point, you say that's literally what you do. You think I'm not familiar with the song and dance? We've been doing it for years here.